My husband thinks I married him for his money. So when I filed for divorce after seeing intimate photos of my husband and his first love, he was also convinced that I would go back to begging him in a few days. However, he stumbled upon my billionaire status. After making an appointment with him to get a divorce, I went straight to City Hall early the next morning, but by 11 o'clock Edwin was still nowhere to be seen. After countless unanswered calls, I decided to go to his office. I wanted to get the divorce settled in a day. As I approached his company, I froze. There he was, standing beside a car, helping a woman inside. When she turned, my heart sank. It was Tilda, his first love. She smiled at him, the kind of smile that only deep familiarity could produce. I sneered bitterly, realizing why Edwin hadn't shown up. It wasn't his work keeping him busy, it was her. When the car drove away, I approached him. I've been waiting all morning. Let's finish this quickly. His face darkened with irritation. I have important projects to handle. I can't afford bad press right now. I couldn't stop myself from laughing bitterly. So, divorcing me would bring bad press, but running around with her wouldn't? Before I could say anything, his assistant came rushing over with some urgent matter. And just like that, Edwin was gone again. Later that day, after more futile attempts to contact him, we finally met at City Hall. He stood by his car, looking as composed and infuriatingly handsome as ever. Even now, my heart betrayed me with a flicker of longing, but I forced myself to remember why I was here. I handed him the signed divorce agreement. Your turn. Edwin hesitated but eventually signed. The staff explained the mandatory 30-day cooling-off period before the divorce would be finalized. I tried to argue, but the law wasn't on my side. Edwin didn't even bother to stay. He walked out without a word, leaving me holding the paperwork. By the time I left City Hall, I was drained. I called Alana. It's done. Come get me. 10 minutes later, she pulled up in her red sports car, her excitement evident. Finally, you're free, she cheered as I slid into the passenger seat. Her words stung, not because they were untrue, but because they reminded me of how much I'd given up for Edwin, for years of bending over backward for his family, enduring their disdain, and sacrificing my dignity, only to be treated like this. Alana must have sensed my turmoil because she pulled me into a hug. Cry if you do, she said softly. I did, but after a while, I wiped my tears and forced a smile. Let's celebrate. Take me to the amusement park. At the park, I screamed on every thrilling ride until the memories of Edwin began to blur. By the end, I felt lighter, freer. We capped off the day with shopping, a complete makeover later. I barely recognized myself, golden curls replacing my straight hair, a wardrobe full of vibrant colors. When Alana saw me, she grinned. That's Sharon I know. Looking at my reflection, I whispered, welcome back, Sharon Kress. That evening, we went to a restaurant. As I headed to our reserved room, I saw them, Edwin and Tilda. Just my luck. I tried to avoid them, but Tilda noticed me. Ms. Kress, here to see Edwin, she asked sweetly, her tone sharp beneath the politeness. Then she added, I didn't expect my errand to lead to your divorce. Sorry about that. Her words stung, but I masked it with a smear. Don't flatter yourself. It's just a coincidence. Edwin, however, didn't buy it. Playing hard to get won't work on me, he said, his eyes narrowing as if he saw through some imaginary game I was playing. I didn't dignify his arrogance with a response. Instead, I walked away, leaving him staring after me. After dinner, Alana dragged me to a bar. You need to remind everyone who